Oh my God, on a Thursday night. That's the first time that I've got it. It's the first time, and I'm going to take my win. I've got myself a nice ale tonight, so I'm going to savour this. Oh, the taste of winning. I'll tell you what this is. Turn around and look at what you see. It's the never-ending story. Come on, it's 80s. You should have got that. That's young Bastian getting out of bed. But he didn't really do much after that. He did Daryl, didn't he? I can't remember. Barrett Oliver, wasn't it? He did Daryl, and then he did Never-Ending Story, and that was it. Well done, Greg Carter. You got it. It's the never-ending story. Hello, Christian from Grantham.
Let's give it up big time. Hello, Christian from Grantham. Now let's get cracking.
Keep practicing, Jim. Keep practicing. Jim, it makes me laugh, right? Get this. Today, the London Games tickets went on sale to the general public for the NFL, and we were primarily trying to get hold of tickets for the Jacksonville Jaguars versus the Buffalo Bills. So you had to do a load of registering and jumping through rings beforehand, and I did all of that. And this morning, I joined the waiting room at 8 o'clock. Tickets went on sale at 12. My son joined the waiting room around about 10:30. When it actually came to 12 o'clock, I was 365,000th in the queue, and he was 60,000th. Go figure. So they just randomly put people where they need to be. So that being said, I did manage to get tickets for us, or Jack did, Jim. So we're going to be going off to see the Buffalo Bills get stuffed by the Jacksonville Jaguars. I've also got tickets for the game before, which is the Atlanta Falcons versus the Jacksonville Jaguars again. Apparently, Phil from Spruverse told me it's because Jacksonville don't have a stadium at the moment, so they're just playing wherever they can get. When I was working at the movie theatre, we ran that movie. I would have parents drop their kids off. They would ask, what does the never-ending story? We say never. I read the book once. I did have the book, which had the an embossed oar-in on the front. I've really been trying to get hold of that book again, because it must be worth a fortune now. It was a red cover with an oar-in on, and when you read the Atreyu parts, it was in red, and when you read the Bastian parts, it was in green. Good book. But once again, it's one of these things from our youth that never know what happens to it. It just disappears. Either the mum's stuck it in a second-hand book sale or something. I don't know. I don't know what happened to it. Hello, Chris. Chris Hurst, Fangdoc. We've been having some funky weather today. Today I was mowing the garden and sunbathing this morning, and this afternoon I was dodging lightning bolts from Zeus up there, who was firing them down to me. Pretty crazy weather, which is why you're going to hear me keep putting this air conditioning on it again, because it does get stuffy in here. I've had a bit of a move around, just a little one here. The R2-D2's gone. He's now been moved to the discharge lounge, because it won't be long before Ian picks him up. It just lets me space out the... you can't see it. It lets me space out the War Machine and the Thunder Road there. Jeff Fink's Thunder Road, I may add, which pride of place in the back there. I do like that model. I've actually got an agenda tonight. I've had to write a whole list of things here. So when you see me over here, I want to make sure I get through that for this opening monologue before we continue, because I'm going to forget things. I've already talked about the NFL tickets, so Jim, you can just relax now. It's the revenge year for the Bills versus Jags after we became the first team to lose to the Jags out here. They had a terrible season. It's been miserable and raining all freaking week. But at least you haven't got to water the garden, Lou. Because you know what's going to happen. In a couple of weeks, you're going to have a drought in North Carolina. And everything's going to die unless you water it. So, problem is with rain showers, though, it's going to get really humid, isn't it? And that's what it is at the moment. It's really stuffy and humid. You didn't have any thunder or lightning in Spalding. Really, Ed? I'm telling you, here it's crazy. Absolutely crazy. We only had one bout of lightning and thunder, but the clouds just came over like Mordor. It was terrible. I even had to turn the lights on in the house at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. But send some rain your way. I'll try to do for it. And hello, Go For It Painting. How's it going? Okay, so first thing on the agenda. My car went in for its MOT today. Failed abysmally, which I knew it was going to do. An MOT, for you Americans, is basically if any slight tiny thing is out of alignment or doesn't work, they foul it and I can't drive it. So I'm going to be getting my car back tomorrow. It fouled on, apparently I had a broken front spring. I didn't know anything about that. And I need 2 rear new tyres and 3 bulbs. That's it. It's going to cost about £300. So that's my car, but I have got another car to use at the moment, so I'm happy. Something that I'm really excited about, and I'm wondering if you can help me out with this. I like promoting channels, and I like promoting new channels, especially people that have just got on board with new channels, and I'm hoping that you might be interested in subscribing to this channel. Now, before I put the link up, if you do subscribe to this channel, go to this person's latest video and just say, welcome to YouTube or something, came over from the world of Wayne, just so that they know where it comes from. This is a model maker extraordinaire, and if you've watched Picard, you'll know who I'm talking about. He created the Enterprise G, and I did meet him at Wonderfest. Bill Krause is now on YouTube. So here's his link to his new channel. He's got 3 videos up at the moment. He's already managed to get 250 subscribers. So hopefully he'll be at 1,000 subscribers in no time. But yeah, check out Bill Krause's channel and just say you've come from the World of Wayne channel. I'm sure he'll like that. But it's brilliant. He's got 3 ships that he's actually made on the channel at the moment. The guy's just an extraordinaire, how his mind can actually visualize something in a form, and he can scratch build those models. But that is now Bill Krause's new YouTube channel. So you can either scan that QR code, or I believe that might put it up in chat as well. I think it does. I don't know. Haven't got a clue. Let me have a look. It does. It puts it up in chat as well. Look at that. That's brilliant. Okay. What's next on the list? I did my podcast today of my journey to Wonderfest. So if you haven't heard that and you're building models, have a listen to that. And you can hear the stress on my voice about airline travel and trying to get to Wonderfest through Chicago. Never again. Never again. I wake up in the night in cold sweats about that. Next Wednesday's Patreon stream. Wait, 007 license to make models. Yeah. Next Wednesday's Patreon stream. There's no Patreon stream next Wednesday for all you patrons. It's going to be on Tuesday. So we're going to have a Tuesday Patreon stream. Okay, patrons? So on Tuesday, we've got a Patreon stream. Mainly on account on Wednesday, I'm watching a small indie film. And when I mean indie film, I mean an Indiana Jones film, because it comes out Wednesday and I want to be one of the first people to see it. So I'm going to see Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, which I can't wait. Already got the tickets booked. Everyone's happy. Hello, James. How's it going? Satyr's models. Satyr's models. I'm still having trouble with your name. The Javelin Bills does look epic. No, it's going to be a good game. So that's next Patreon stream, just so you know. Talking about Patreons, Frank Yazetta, if you're watching, can you email me at wayne@worldofwayne.co.uk? I don't think I've got a link. Why haven't I got a link? wayne@worldofwayne.co.uk, because I'm trying to link your YouTube channel into that front scroll, but I can't actually access your YouTube channel. It says URL not found. So if you could email me or just let me know or send another link, that'd be really appreciated. I'll get it done, because you did email me. I haven't ignored the emails, just I can't get it done because I don't know what your YouTube channel is. The Ferrari 312 T4, just so you know, this is for David Phillips, and again, you Patreons. We almost built pack 10 last night. I'm only going to be building up to pack 11, because pack 12 actually just changed the design of the car that it was in for 2 races. Now, David, if you are watching this, if you want to do that, then I'll just give you the box and you can change the behind section yourself. But as for how the car should be looking, it's actually finished in pack 11, and you do get rain tyres as well. So pack 11 is going to be the last one that we do for that. Hello, Svi. How's it going? I think I'm good. Okay, close enough, bless. Okay, I've got some things to show you. So first thing is we've now got some new Star Wars ship collections. Once again, look, you know me, I love a QR code. Look, check that out. And I'm not even using Restream tonight. I've managed to incorporate this from Restream. So Star Wars Starships collection. I always show these on a Thursday night now. Something different this time around. It seems like the scales are completely out of whack. You remember we had the Death Star and we had, you know, quite big AT-ATs and stuff like that. Even the Millennium Falcon was quite chunky. Well, here we've got really big ships which are really tiny, and I'm talking micro machine tiny. So really weird, but I'll show you what they are. Is that good, David? Excellent. Perfect. I'm glad you're watching. I did manage to get everything sorted last night. You'll be happy to know that. Wings back on and everything, so we're good. Okay, so on the workbench cam. So the first vehicle we've got is... I didn't know this one because I haven't watched Clone Wars. I've been watching Bad Batch, but I still haven't seen Rebels or Clone Wars. But it's a Nebulon B Escort... Oh, wait there. This is the wrong one. Sorry. I've done this in the complete wrong order. Okay, this is from Empire Strikes Back. This is the ship that they're standing on at the end of Empire Strikes Back. God, that's completely out of order. That just completely threw me there. That looks like this. And this is what I'm talking about. Scale. Look, check this out. This is really tiny. compared to my hand. I mean, the detail's nice, but it's, as you can see there, but it is tiny. And if I go over to the head, because you know me, I use my head as a unit of measure. Look, it's about the size of my glasses. So, I don't know, this is one of the biggest ships in the fleet, and it's really tiny. So that doesn't make sense. Okay, and the second one, if we get this right, I can say it now. I haven't watched Clone Wars. I've watched the Bad Batch, but I've never seen these things. And it does look like it's from Clone Wars. So these are called the AT-RT. They like using the Armoured Transport All-Terrain RT. Rebel I don't know what it stands for. Anyway, this one's actually bigger than that thing you just saw there. And that looks like that. Getting quite a nice little model, this one. There you go. There's the close-up of it. I feel like I'm at Wonderfest filming here. Look, nice and slow. Nice and slow. I like the green on there. So that looks like that. And then finally, the last one we've got is from Rogue One, which is the U-Wing. I actually built one of these for Metal Earth, if you remember. Quite a hard thing to build, but that looks like that. And again, the scale compared to the X-Wing we had is a lot smaller. Look, it's tiny compared to the X-Wing. Again, let me just show you on this camera here. See what I mean? It doesn't make sense. Let me go back to this head cam here. I am going to put the air conditioning on now. Hang on, because I'm getting hot. But you see what I mean? Look, it's tiny compared to the X-Wing that we had. Doesn't make sense. But that are the 3 ships that we had this time. What I do is after the stream, I put them boxed back up, because until my old man cave room is ready, I've got nowhere to put them at the moment. So, bit funky that one is. Oh, right, I'm going to try and catch up with chat now. Because trying to show that off, read down an agenda and drink ale is a surprisingly difficult thing to do. We got 172 folks watching and 47 likes. Just so you know. Hi Wayne, was you in Aylesbury on Monday? No, I wasn't. Did I have a lookalike, Andrew? Getting close to the reboot of the Ecto 1. Now, from what I understand, now I've seen the emails from Back Compton that they're going to go live to order from the 17th of July. But from the way I read the email, we're still going to be waiting a couple of months to actually get them through. So we could be looking at September before it actually starts again. I think that's what his post on Facebook said. I could be wrong. It could actually start being dispatched in July. But from what I understand, it's all going to go live in July. And hopefully they'll start shipping and everyone's going to start getting theirs in September. But if I am wrong, then Back Compton, please get in touch with me and I will correct it. But that's how I read the email. So I could be wrong. 2 standard units of measure, Wayne's head and a football pitch. Yep, my head, I could loan it out. This is why I shaved my head, you see, because it's a great unit of measure. I've got a message for Alan Palmer and Paul Ryder. I'm going to be touring the country to see you peeps between July the 23rd and July the 27th. So you'll have to let me know what day is best for you. Okay, there is one day I can't do, which I think might be the 25th. 1 second, I'm just checking. There is one day I can't do, which is I can't do the 25th. But between the 23rd and 27th is when me and Mrs. World Wayne are planning to come up. So, Paul, I'll be delivering your workstation, and Alan, I'll be delivering your Star Wars Helmets Collection prize, which you still haven't got yet. Haven't forgot it. It's still here, so don't worry. Marcus, did I manage to get the 2 springs in? Not even attempted it yet. When I was told that they get changed, I decided not to do it until I'd read pack 11 and 12. Well, I've read through all the instructions now, and in pack 12 you do take them off, but it's because you're changing the back end, which I'm not going to be doing, because what's the point of having a car displayed of how it looks when it just raced in 2 races, I believe, in that sort of get-up. But I mean, if you want it in that get-up, that you've got the option there. But at the end of pack 11, that Ferrari's finished, so good build though. I've enjoyed that build. Has anyone had any messages from Fan Home DLSD about the next box number 21 issues 7088 182 saying not taking payment as yet. They're out of stock of the Night Rider. Night Rider's delayed at the moment. Actually, there's about 3 builds from Fan Home at the moment that are delayed. And if you do look at your Fan Home account, it does tell you that there is stock problems with some of these. They will be coming soon. I am getting the Lotus, if you didn't know, Ayrton Senna's Lotus from DRSD Collectibles, but they did have a problem with my address. So I had to correct that 2 days ago, so hopefully it's going to be sent out now. The Jag's a lovely build. You're not going to like those spokes though, Mark. Longer ships come out shorter due to packaging. It's the same for Eaglemoss ships. The Enterprise E is smaller than the Enterprise D. It's very strange because I'm telling you, that Death Star was like a football when we had that in. Don't know. With the Agostini Fan Home seeming to have the license for everything Disney, I think they have. You wonder if they'll release a Cruella de Vil car. Don't know. I'll be interested to see them release a Millennium Falcon again, I have to say. I think since the Millennium Falcon first came out, to how Partworks have grown and people have actually jumped on board the build-up sort of structure of model building, I think it would do really well again. But I do think it's out in Italy at the moment. So if you're in Italy, you can still get the Millennium Falcon. Battleship Tippy. It's just been confirmed. All 5 of the lost lives. I saw that they had some wreckage, Paul. They found some wreckage. It's sad, but you know, I'm going to say the phrase that everyone hates. It is what it is. So you're so hot. That's why I put the air conditioning on and talking very close to the microphone. So Hachette won't let me restart the Eddie Stobart truck. The problem with Hachette, Andrew, is that when you buy the product, you're on a buying curve. So that's why when people buy in pack 1, they're on that wave for the whole build. And that's why when you get further on in the build, it's no longer available to get pack 1 anymore. So you kind of miss the boat for that. So if you delay it too long, that wave's moved further on and you're going to have out of stocks. So unless that gets picked up by someone else, like Agora Models or something, you are going to be stuck to try and get hold of some of those parts. It's best to keep that wave, if you like. Okay, Paul, I'll bear that in mind and I'll get in touch with you. Thank you for that. Okay, it is now 20 past 7. So from Paul's message, I will come back to chat. Don't worry about it. But I have been teasing the Sprueverse Challenge this year. Now, it's going to be slightly different to what we've done in the past with the Time Machine and the ET spaceship and the Jaws diorama in resin. Not going to forget that one in a hurry. And the Orca. What we're going to do is I'm going to announce what we're doing today. We're going to discuss what we're doing today. But then the next time you see it is going to be the finished models and how it looks and stuff like that. The reason being is because if we break it down, I mean, even when we do the finished models, we can have a breakdown of how we built it and stuff like that, but not while we're going along. Because the thing is, by doing that, you've already teased how the model looks before the end of the build. So this time it's going to be, this is what we're going to be doing. And then this is what it looks like at the end, with pretty much the steps that we've done for that. It's going to be quite a challenging one, this is, because I'm going to be using some skills, and I'm sure Lou and Phil are going to be using some screws they haven't used before, or they have used before, but not for some time. It's going to be sort of like dusting off some things. But I'm insistent that I'm going to be using resin on this one because I need to get over my fear of resin. But we'll have to see how that goes. So, any day for you, Alan. Okay, Alan, I will let you know. Okay, mate? No problems. Okay. Are you ready for this? We have fun filming this. Now, the person that actually filmed this that you're about to see was at Wonderfest. I believe he's a TV editor, isn't he, for some news program or news channel? And he interviewed Lou. I think Lou posted a link from Wonderfest. But he actually just filmed this little skit that you're going to see now. But I hope you're going to enjoy this year's, because I think it's going to be a yearly thing now, this year's Sprueverse Challenge. Hi all, welcome to our channels, welcome to our worlds. This is Luna Meso Aztec Dummy,
Phil Siegel, Spruverse, and myself, Wayne Green, World of Wayne. We've got another challenge, although we're only halfway in the challenge because we know what we're building, but we don't know what the dynamic is of it yet.
No. So this is a new kit that has been out recently, right? It just
came out. So
yeah. It's the Talos, Ray Harryhausen's film from the movie.
Golden Voyage of Sinbad.
Yeah, the Golden Voyage of Sinbad. So this is a classic. Now this kit is vinyl.
Yes.
And we've looked at it. It's got great detail, but here's the challenge. The challenge is it has to be put in some kind of a diorama that's dynamic, and it has to be film accurate. That's the challenge.
All good. I'm just thinking, wasn't it Jason and the Argonauts?
It could have been.
Yeah, I think it was Jason and the Argonauts.
It was
Jason and the
yeah,
Argonauts?
yeah.
Oh,
So,
well, okay.
Well,
well-
okay. Our first assignment is to get conversant in Ray Harryhausen,
Yes.
so that we can know which movie we're talking about.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
I was calling the Cyclops from the wrong movie forever.
Yeah.
I had him in the wrong movie.
So what we'll do is we'll have a lot more information once we decide exactly how we're going to attack this. But that's the challenge, and I'm really excited about it.
Cool. And I will show you an unboxing and stuff, and I'm sure.
I don't
challenge
have
for
one yet.
It doesn't have
And,
one. We managed to get one.
I gotta get one.
It's going to be great. He'll get one, and let me be the first to concede to Lou and congratulate him on
Another
winning this challenge, because that's what's going to happen.
Who are we kidding, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Did you notice the odd one out there? I'm the only one not wearing a Build Something t-shirt. I actually got one. Could have been fun if we're all wearing the same t-shirt, but it's all fun. Lou, I've just ordered one of your t-shirts, by the way. The another what did I can't even remember what I wrote on it. An entirely different kind of modelling altogether in a different colour. So you'll see me wearing that on the channel soon. We're going to be building Talos, which is a brand new model kit. Now, we got these from Cult TV Man. Now, when the videos go up, and I will put announcements on social media, I'll link to this product on the Cult TV Man website. 12-inch soft vinyl figure. Very good parts this has. They've got the ship with the individual oars here. Look at that. You've got the parts of the head, which I find incredibly hard to show you. And the body and the legs, as you can see, looking like this. I've had a good look in here anyway. We've even got, check this out if I can find it. Please don't tell me I've lost it already. We've even got the splash of where the ship gets lifted out the water. Now, the problem is that, Lou, I don't know if you've noticed this. Let me just scroll down. Is that Lou's already won. The ship didn't actually splash when it came out the water. Now, I'm guessing, because I haven't really confirmed this with Phil or Lou, that this is the screenshot we're using. This is directly from the film. And the whole idea of this challenge is to make this as realistic to that scene as we possibly can. Now, for that reason, it's a bit weird that we've got this splash. I am going to probably put it in for artistic license, because I think if he's picking that ship out the water, you're going to have water coming off of it, and it is going to make a little bit of a bit of waves underneath. As you can see, it's a nice calm sea there. But what we have to do is we have to make that sea. We have to make those little mountains either side. It's got to be accurate, so we can actually take a picture of our model and then compare it to that. Which means doing the waves, which is something I've never done out of resin and stuff like that. And I think Phil might be using another technique. We'll have to see how that goes. But there's an even bigger challenge, which Lou suggested, which we're going to be doing. And that is, if I just put the lid back on this box, check out this box again. Let me get the glare off. There's the box. And now I'm going to show you the image of the film again, okay? This is from Jason and the Argonauts. Check this out. Okay. What do you notice? As you see, his pose is wrong. So, part of the challenge is to adjust that pose, which means cutting things, filling things. His head's going to need to be lifted up a bit more. His body's sort of got to be twisted a little bit more, and as is his legs. But I don't think the legs need too much. It's mainly body and head that needs to change. And the sword, probably a bigger angle there. Other than that, it's pretty similar. So that is the picture we're going from. That's how it's going to look. And the Spruverse challenge is to make it look as screen accurate as we possibly can. So going to be an interesting model, that is. Now, we've set ourselves a deadline for the end of September. So that gives us pretty much the whole of the summer to go through this and see how this goes. I think actually building Talos himself once we've actually moved things around and fill it, it's going to be the easy part. I think the diorama part's going to be probably the hardest thing. Also, the diorama's not going to be overly massive. We've suggested anywhere between 8 and 12 inches base. So I think we measured his shoulders at 8 inches, but I'm sure that the limits are between 8 and 12 inches. So notice I'm using inches there and not centimeters, because I do upset the Americans when I talk in centimeters. The thing is, Adrian, that I'm a real big fan of Harryhausen, and I actually thought Talos was out before. I even thought I swore I saw one at Lou's house, but I think I'm confusing it with the Cyclops and stuff, you know. But it's going to be a fun old build, that's for sure. But this is what I bought. This is the big thing I bought from Wonderfest. Really happy with that. I'm going to try and catch up with chat now. What do you think of that anyway? It's going to be a fun thing, I have to say. I'm looking forward to it. I think we did have an idea of Harryhausen before we went to Wonderfest, but we didn't know what to do. But I didn't even know this kit was out. But I saw it on the Cult TV man shelf, and I think we're all in pretty much unison agreement of what we're going to do. But we just thought we were going to make a diorama. But when Lou said about making the pose different, but that's why it's a challenge. It's not all rainbows, though. We could end up with a garden ornament, as someone just said. Just to the left a little. Yeah, you definitely got to move his head up. I know that. We've definitely got to move his shoulders round. It's going to be a case of me standing half naked in a mirror, I think, to see how my muscle tone moves when I move around, and then adjust accordingly. Thank you, The Brood. How detailed do you make the boat? As detailed as you can get. As you saw, we've got all the oars there. Let me try and show you the boat. 1 second. It's in here somewhere. There we go. Nope, that's a sword. Here's the boat here. Stand by. So obviously the boat's got like a mast for the sails. I don't think it hasn't got any sails. And in that picture that you saw, let me have a look at it again myself, actually. There is a sail on that boat. Look, rolled up, though. It's interesting. Okay. So this is how much detail I've looked at it at the moment. But there's the actual boat. So it's quite detailed in itself. And again, for size, half the size of my head. And then that boat, obviously, we've got the holes in the side of it there, where each one of these oars, which are going to have to be painted, are coming out. Do we have all the oars in the side of the boat? Or, like the film, do we have some of them spilt out? Let's have a look at this again. They're all in there at that point, so they're probably all going to be attached to the boat. Have to see. 3D scan the parts, put them all together in mesh mixer, 3D print and paint. Simples. I wish I was that clever, Chris. You know what? I was watching a demonstration at Wonderfest of some of these Blender 3D programs. And I've also watched a demonstration of Bill Krause when he was talking about doing, you remember that the guy that I linked the YouTube channel to? When he actually put it on to have the design put on a computer, they used Fusion 360. And I was trying to figure out how to use Fusion 360, and I was having a terrible time of it. You've got to be really clever to be able to use some of these 3D rendering programs. And I'll tell you what, my hat goes off to you for the skill involved in doing that. If I had enough time to just sit down with no distractions, because I've got the mind of a squirrel sometimes, that I just, you know, keep getting preoccupied with something else, then perhaps I could focus a little bit more. But yeah, at the moment, no. Harryhausen, Stop Genius. You know, one of my biggest regrets, Anthony, was in Edinburgh last year. They had a Harryhausen exhibition with some of the original models, and I never got a chance to go. So I'm hoping that might pop up somewhere again. We'll have to see how that goes. I think the fact of no CGI, Paul, is what makes it good. To me, Talos looks a lot more fearful with that really sort of frame rate difference between how Talos moves and how the actual real action moves. It does make it look mechanical. I don't even know if Talos has that little thing behind his foot. Because if you know, the way they overpower Talos in the film is that they take... Oh, it does, look. They take this little... Look at that. It's got a little plug on the back of the foot there. They take the plug off the foot and all these lava or blood or whatever's inside, oil, gushes out of him, and that kills him. So, never mind the Americans. I hate decimal, old school me. I was taught using a slide rule. Paul, I'll tell you what, I don't know if it's because of the year I was born or whatever, but I'm a sucker for millimeters. I couldn't tell you what a 1/4 inch is or a 1/2 inch, but I can tell you what a millimeter is. So that's why I keep this on me at all times, because I'm bound to get asked, what's that in inches? And I haven't got a clue. Oh, bless. No little people. No, there isn't, actually. It's interesting, isn't it? Let me look at that picture again. There's no one on that boat. So they're either in that remarkably calm, still like a lake water. Lou, we've got to have some artistic license on that water. It can't be still like that. Confusion 360 is good. The Achilles heel is there. That's great. That detail's brilliant. Absolutely love it. You went to the Harryhausen exhibition. You went to it, Alex. I really wish I had gone. I'll look to see if I have pictures of the actual model. If you have, Alex, email me them. It will help with colour schemes, because from what I understand, and again, I'm going to show you this picture again, it's basically bronze painted with a really... What I think I'm going to do is get that green... what did Mrs. Wayne call it? Verdiment, whatever. The coppery sort of green colour, and rub that into the statue as a weather. Obviously, there'll be a black weather underneath that as well, because that bronze is really dull as well. But yeah, it's going to take a lot of focusing on. Lou, I'll send you that picture if you want. I just took a screen grab from the film. I don't know if it's clearer than the one Phil showed us during our Zoom call. I'm not sure. It's the Achilles heel. Jason the Argonauts is one of my favourite films when I was a kid. All the Harryhausens. As someone mentioned earlier, I absolutely love Clash of the Titans. Mrs. Wayne is a massive fan. As you probably remember when the channel first started, we were talking about Bobo the Owl. She wants a Bobo the Owl. And I do believe Hot Toys, someone bought a 1/1 owl. It doesn't do anything, but it's a really good statue of the owl. But 1/2 inch is 12.7 millimeters. But you saying that then, Steve, theoretically, millimeters is going to be more accurate than measuring in 1/8 of an inch or 32th of an inch or 164th of an inch. I don't know. I can't measure in inches. Every woodworker on my age knows what a smidgen is in a measurement. Oh, bless. Hi, Neil, over on Facebook. How's it going? Verdigris. Thank you, Mrs. Wayne. Look, everyone knows what Mrs. Wayne's... Every time she speaks, I have to go for a dictionary. Please send the pic. I will send the pic, Lou. Now, that pic is the only pic of the film that I can see where it's in that pose that we see on the front of the box, because straight after that scene, everyone falls off the boat and the boat falls in the water. So I stopped it just before that scene cut and took a picture of that. So I will send that. I'll send it to Phil as well. And we'll see. We're definitely going to have to move the head, but it'd be interesting how we do that, because I'm sure the muscle tones are going to change, especially in the twist of the body down here. I'll figure that one out. Filing and filling. Perhaps that should be put on a t-shirt. Filing and filling. Talos, filing and filling. I was going to put Talos, Return of the Resin. But there is a YouTuber called Luke Towan, and he shows you how to make water effects with the resin that I use for Jaws, but not just flat water effects like a lake for dioramas, but also wavy ones as well. In fact, he did a surfing scene with a giant wave and loads of waves just using the resin. For the life of me, I can't remember how he did it, so I'm going to have to watch his video again. But I do intend to... I've got to use this resin for something. I've got like 3 kilograms of resin down here doing nothing. It's been sitting there for 4 years, and it's taken up space. Citadel Paints do a great patina. Really? I've got the bronze. I've already got the bronze here because I used the bronze when I made Mrs. Wayne's door knockers from Labyrinth. So that bronze is the exact colour I was looking for. But as for that verdigris, I can't even pronounce it. Verdigris. As for that, I will be doing a sort of... I'm not washing it. I think I need to rub it on, like with my thumb. Because it's even though it's like in the bits, it's also in the bronze as well. I have to figure that out. The skeleton fighting scared me when I was a little kid. Was it Jason and the Argonauts where you had the harpies tormenting the blind man and eating all the food so he couldn't eat anything. That was Jason and the Argonauts, wasn't it? Those harpies freaked me out. You used it for your current model? Oh, wow. Ask Lou what he used on the Nautilus. That would look good. Lou, what did you use on the Nautilus? The good thing about doing these builds as well is because we were going to have like a reveal at the end, each one of ours are going to be completely different. We won't be asking each other what colour paints we're using. That's up to us. For me, it could be pink because I'm colourblind, but I can tell the bronzes and the greens, so it should be all right. Metric is much easier to use. Hopefully it will change over finally one day. Both systems are accurate. It's just who uses them. Oh, right. Okay. I only use millimeters. I can't even think of a time that I've had to use inches. I think only in my height. 5'9". That's the only time I've used inches, I think. I used to be 5'10". I'm sure I did. 12 inches is a foot. That's right. 36 inches is a yard. Mrs. Welder Wayne, this is why you're a teacher. It's for valuable knowledge like that at 8:35 at night that keeps our marriage together. If Mrs. Welder Wayne is a massive fan, does that mean she allow it in the lounge room? That is a damn good question, Pete JB75. Mrs. Welder Wayne, would you allow that Talos figure, if it's good enough, to have pride of place in the lounge? Perhaps somewhere near the TV? In the general vicinity of the TV? I know Phil will challenge if we don't have backup references. I'll send you 50 pictures then, Lou. I'll take screen grabs from the first, I don't know, 5 seconds beforehand as well. Every single frame. It can go in the lounge. Look, check that out. Citadel, there's the paint. Citadel Technical Neolucca Oxide. Oh, okay, I'll check that out. Now, Citadel paints, that's what people are using for the Warhammer figurines, isn't it? Because I've got a shop down the road that sells the Citadel paints. Never actually used them myself. I do like to use the Vallejo game colour, but I've only got a limited selection of those, I have to say. I do like the New World colours that we used at Wonderfest for the Marauder here. I've been using them quite a bit. I use them on my werewolf. My werewolf's finished now, if you didn't know. I might have a picture here, actually. Let me have a look. Stand by. I did do a social media post here, but this is what my werewolf looks like. My lycanthrope. Eyes were extremely hard, but I think I've perfected how to do the eyes now. But I was really happy with how that's turned out. But with eyes, what I tend to find is forget the pupil, work on the iris, layer it so you have a base colour and then whatever colours are around it. And then for the putting the eyes in, I get a cocktail stick, cut the end off to however big the diameter of the pupil is, dip it in some black paint and just spot it on. And that gives you perfectly round. Once that's perfectly dry, then I use Mrs. Welder Wayne's, is it up here? No, I think I put it back. Mrs. Welder Wayne's nail hardener and put a drop on the eye. And it makes a brilliant cornea because it has got like a spherical sort of thing. And that's how I did the eyes for that. So that was earlier on. But if you watch on demand, Slugo, is that right? Then you'll be able to see that video. I will post that up on social media as well later on. So you can see exactly what we're doing. You must be older than mine. Well, I'm 50 in 12 days. Can you believe that? July the 4th, I'm going to be 50. And what's scary, it's like a countdown. Because all of my Facebook friends from school are slowly posting happy birthday messages. Or, you know, they're getting messages saying they're 50. Now, because I was born in July, I was one of the youngest in my class. If you were born in August, you were the youngest in your class. If you were born in September, you were the oldest in your class. But, yeah, I was one of the youngest. But they, yeah, July the 4th. 50 years old. Mrs. Welder Wayne's going to be taking me to the Space Centre in Leicester. I cannot wait. Going to be absolutely brilliant. And she's also putting some money towards the Eiffel Tower that I'm going to be building on the channel. Talos can hold the Enterprise. The scale's a bit different. I'd need a smaller scale Enterprise. Very abstract. I like your thinking though, Will. Maybe he was using UV resin. I've got UV resin here. But Phil's got this UV putty. I don't know if you've seen it on his channel that he's been using. Works exactly like UV resin, but it's moldable. So it's like blue tack or plasticine. You can mold it into whatever shape you want, then blast it with UV and it goes rock hard. I think I'm going to use my go-to, which is my Magisculpt, and I'll let it dry. But with Magisculpt, I can wet it and really smooth it out with my fingers before I leave it to go harden. Yes, that's the one. Luke Towan, Boulder Creek Railroad, is amazing. Love his videos. He's got over 1.4 million subscribers, I think, but he hasn't made a video in a while. But yeah, anything to do with resin or dioramas, Luke Towan is definitely the person to see. Let me go and see, because he's actually, Luke is, if you're on my YouTube channel, I've got a featured channel list under the main video, and he's on one of my featured channels. Or used to be. He's not now, isn't that typical? Okay, hang on. He used to be, but he's not anymore. So I'm going to put in chat Luke Towan's channel there. There we go. And if I go like this, because you know me. Oops, what am I doing? I made a mistake. Stand by. Luke Towan YouTube channel. Create. Okay, so theoretically, if I hide that message there, and then I click on that, yeah, you've got a QR code. I haven't put the picture up there, but if you want to check out his site, absolutely realistic dioramas, and that's what we're going for in this challenge, realism. And anything you can shake a stick at of how to make things look real, that's the channel you want to go follow. So that's two. Look, tonight you've got Bill Krause and you got Luke Towan. You're 65 and the 60s were the best time to be a kid. Thank you, Aurora. You see, the thing is, I'm 50 and the 80s for me were the best. I'm loving Stranger Things and everything like that. I've just had a rewatch of series 4 of Stranger Things. I just love that era. And I know Jeffrey, I'm speaking for Jeffrey Fink as well. Jeffrey, you love the 80s, don't you? I mean, come on, Last Starfighter, Explorers. It was the time to be alive. All the best music come from the 80s as well. They're still using it today. It normally takes Luke Towan 3 months, really, to release a video. His milestone video showed that he is a pilot. Really? I didn't know that. I hadn't got a clue. But he's got the temperament of Bob Ross. I could watch him for hours as he's just talking about how he makes things just from like foam board to some of the amazing dioramas. Primarily a lot of it's railroad stuff as well, isn't it? But he has made, like, he did a waterfall diorama once, which was absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. Paul Ryder, your body's falling apart. Your mind thinks it's 40. You have severe COPD. COPD. I don't know what that is. That's something to do with breathing, isn't it? COPD? COPD. Chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. Shortness of breath, persistent cough, wheezing, bloody and sputtering, chest pain. There we go. I've just done your online doctor diagnosis. That doesn't sound good at all, Paul. Not good at all. Have you noticed that tonight I'm actually keeping up with chat? That's never happens. That never happens. 80s were great. We need a model of Shermer High School. Well, I went to Chicago Rias, and just like Jay and Silent Bob says, I got there, and you know what? I went to Shermer, Illinois. There wasn't a Shermer, Illinois. War Games, the best. Definitely. You can make Whopper. I've seen a Whopper model somewhere. You know, the computer? But that would be good at Wonderfest, I reckon. I don't know if it's too bland just having a computer with lights flashing on it, though. I do think the judging at Wonderfest was very tough this year. But all fun. Those who were born in the 60s, 80s are defo the best. Wayne, you are the 80s, was the best time to be a kid. Damn straight. I mean, Back to the Future, Nightmare on Elm Street, John Hughes, Star Trek The Next Generation. Actually, is Strange New Worlds episode 2 out now? I completely forgot all about that. That's something to watch. I'm sure that's out. There we go. See, Jeffrey says 80s TV and films are they are timeless. And you know what? If I could kit this, because I've still got all that stuff for the retro corners just in a box down here until I figure out what I'm doing here. But when we went to the MCM Comic Con and I met Agora Models and saw that Optimus Prime, they had a stand there which was just devoted to stuff from the 80s, like Subutio and some of the old games, some of the handheld, the old original Mario games. It's in my era. Absolutely loved it. Hello, Ray from Malta. How's it going? Ray, was it you? Ray, it was you who gave me this, wasn't it? I'm trying to figure out which Ray gave me the Maltese Night. Ugh. Ray, you gave me that, didn't you? You gave me that. Look, it's on my fridge right here. I'm sure it was you. Lots of happy trees and lots of happy little accidents. I was telling Lou the other day, I had a happy little accident on my Enterprise build. Not only did I blow up the Arduino, which I'm having to wait for another one to come because I ordered the wrong one, so I had to send them back. But also, I put the Impulse crystal in on top when it should have gone in from the bottom. Luckily, it was only glued in with PVA glue, so taking it out was no problems at all. It didn't even mark the paint. So I glued it with super glue now from the underside. Hello, David. How's it going? It is what killed Leonard Nimoy. Really? I didn't know that. 80s had the most kind of different movies that were original. It was definitely original. The Thing. Every time I keep naming things from the 80s, some of my favourite film, Aliens. The best film of all time, the Ralph Macchio, The Karate Kid. All came from the 80s. All spawned from the 80s. Although Alien was 79, wasn't it? So Alien, the original Alien, fell into the 70s. So let's say late 70s, all of the 80s. And then the 90s, it started to lose its track a bit. Although we did have, what was it, Jurassic Park's almost 40 years old, 93, 2003, 2000, 30 years old, Jurassic Park. Can you believe that? Wow. We don't make mistakes, we make happy little accidents. Exactly. This is why I've got so many plasters over here, Mark. Pringles leaf. The late 60s and 70s, the best year. Now, I try to think, see, for me, with the 60s and 70s, I'm thinking of Poseidon Adventure, disaster films, Time Tunnel, Land of the Giants, all that sort of thing. That's my version of the 60s and 70s TV. The Love Boat, Gilligan's Island, Fantasy Island, the plane. I suffered about a diorama last week. I'm not keeping up with the hour, although that's a whole bottle, so I'm doing well for me. I'll just down this after the stream normally. You wanted to make a whopper. You know, for years, I'd loved that film, but I never realised it was Ali Sheedy was the girl in it. So I was like, oh, wow. So, you know, I only know Ali Sheedy from the Breakfast Club and Short Circuit. And then she popped up in everything. St. Elmo's Fire, look, another film from the 80s. Absolutely brilliant film. I think she's an author now, as a matter of fact. I was telling Phil about how much I like Ali Sheedy, and I used to adore her growing up, and I believe he knows her parents. So I was like, oh my God. Ali Sheedy was my Phoebe Cates. Why am I saying this when Mrs. World of Wayne's watching this? Oh God, I'm going to be in the workshop tonight. Every time I hear an Explorers, I start humming a horse is a horse, of course, a horse. No one. Explorers, a brilliant film. But you know what? With Jeff Finks, I'm going to move this just so you can see. With that Thunder Road spaceship, which is, it looks brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. That's a 3D print. Again, designed by Jeffrey Fink. A lot of people recognise the ship but can't recognise the film. So when I tell them what the film is, it's like, oh, wow, I remember that as a kid. It was very underrated when it came out. And from what I understand, the film wasn't meant to have that ending, but the producers and whoever was in charge of the film just wanted to rush and get the film finished. So Joe Dante just made that ending, and that's what we got. The vid he did with a kid on a bike riding around a building was incredible. What was that? A kid right the vid? Oh, yep. I remember that. You're talking about Luke Towan again, yeah? Episode 2's out. Right, I can watch that after the stream then. Should they do a remake of War Games? Definitely, it wouldn't work today, because back then, this was technology that didn't really exist. We'd never seen a modem before. It's like watching Hackers. Have you ever seen Johnny Lee Miller and Angelina Jolie and Matthew, what's his name? Lillard in Hackers? They're talking about how brilliant their PC is, and it's like a step up from a ZX Spectrum compared to what we get now. It's just it's very dated, but I don't think they could make it with what technology we have now. Sometimes I think the reason remakes don't work is because they were made for that era, and perhaps they were ahead of the time in that era as well. Oh, CIPD's emphysema. I know what emphysema is. Oh, wow. That's crazy. You saw the original Star Trek when it's original. That's great. But was it as like, when that first came out, Chris, Lou, you might be able to answer this as well. When Star Trek first came out, was it as successful as, say, a new Star Trek series coming out today is? Because I'm wondering, this ought to be something that people hadn't really seen before. I know there was, you know, sci-fi shows on before that, but for actual weekly serial successful, making 3 seasons of it, I'm wondering, did people fanboy over it as much as they do now? Because I wouldn't know. I was born in 1973. I was only around for 5, almost 6 years of the 80s, but it was a brilliant decade. Definitely. 60s, Dad, Airbrush Playboys. Kate Bush, Genesis, definitely. I wasn't a big fan of Pink Floyd, I have to say. I still listen to their music today, and I'm not, they're not my favourite. Which I know I'm going to get shot down for, but I don't get it. I don't get their music. Show everyone your new measuring tool. It's on Facebook Messenger. What? Stand by. You're asking me to use social media, Ian, and you know I'm terrible at doing that. Hang on. Ian sent a photo. Right, hang on. Let's try and get this up. 1 second. I'm trying to make the picture big, Ian, and it's not having it. Why can't I do that? Oh, wait a minute. There we go. Okay, this is what Ian sent me. There we go. So there's your conversion chart. I might have to put that on the channel, you know, saying, if you want to know how big it is, here's the conversion chart. How do you know the size of my head, Ian? That's very good. I like that. I like how you're very impulsive, but you can just make something. You can think of it and make it. That's creativity at its best. That's brilliant. Bob Ross is amazing to watch. Trees come out of nowhere. Happy mistake. Showed my 6-year-old daughter. She loved it. We were at this rib restaurant in Louisville called Mama's. Mama's Barbecue and Fried Pickles or something like that. They had an original Bob Ross in there. And we were meant to see it, but we forgot. So next time we go there, I definitely need to check out that original Bob Ross that they've got hanging on the wall. Meatballs, brilliant film. Porky's, brilliant film. Last Starfighter, brilliant film. Yes, it was you. Thank you, Ray. I've still got it here. Look, it's right next to me at all times, protecting me from the dangers of modelling. Thank you for that, Ray. I am going to Telford again, Ray, this year. We might have some extra visitors. We don't know yet, but we'll have to see. Best thing about the 80s were dealy boppers. Dealy, what's a dealy bopper? All these terms like hosiers. I never heard of hosiers for people living in Indiana. That's a new one on me. You like to binge watch, do you, Marcus? Oh, I can't. If something's out, I've got to watch it. As Lou said famously, that it's always good when there's new Star Trek and new sci-fi shows on TV. Couldn't agree more. Tomorrow, the 23rd of June, it'll be the 34 years that Batman 19... Oh my God, that makes me feel really old. Wow. Aliens was 80. Aliens came out at the same time as The Karate Kid. I remember them both at the cinema at the same time. And I was having a debate with one of my friends about which film was better. We're trying to compare a young kid being bullied learning karate with space aliens. The Thing was a remake. Yeah, no, definitely. But then the black and white thing wasn't... yes, I don't know. It wasn't really... wasn't... How many times has The Thing been remade? Is it 3 now? Or is it 4? I can't remember. But the John Carpenter's thing's always going to be the iconic one because it's so gory and scary. Night of the Living Dead and Exorcist. Exorcist was 73 when I was born, wasn't it? Looking forward to watching Indiana Jones on Wednesday, I have to say. I'm just hoping it blurs out whatever the fourth one was. Can't remember. I'm sure there wasn't a fourth Indiana Jones film. But I'm looking forward to the Dial of Destiny. Yes, the 80 series feed. Now, we were really lucky in the UK because in the US, when you watched V, from what I understand, you had V Part 1, V Part 2, a big gap, and then the 3 episodes of the final battle. So you had to wait months before the final battle was released. In the UK, in 1 week, we had all of it in 1 week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday was every episode of V for that first season. Absolutely brilliant. I'm surprised there isn't more V merchandise. At Wonderfest last year, I did see one of the alien space carriers, but there needs to be more V stuff out. Jeffrey Fink, we need more V stuff. You haven't seen Explorers for a long time. Brilliant film. Did you hear that the pay US McDonald's workers $20 now? Really? McDonald's crew member Liam Sankey. That's a weird promotion. They tried to reboot War. No, it would never work. From movies to hair to music, one of the worst decades. No, synthesizers are the best. We've got Synth making synthesized music. No one can slate Jean-Michel Jarre. ELO. No, it was just sci-fi. It only got cult standing after many repeats some 15 years later. It's crazy. No, most folks watch Lost in Space. That's just crazy, isn't it? How some things pick up like that. It makes me think like a Rocky Horror Picture Show. The film, when that first came out, that completely bombed, and now it's got such a cult following. It's amazing how generations later people start to appreciate it. The BBC didn't start to show Star Trek in the UK until 1969. I wasn't aware of that either. It was already cancelled when it started. See, when I know a series has been cancelled on Netflix now, I lose all interest in watching it. I don't know why. You've got to do acid to appreciate Pink Floyd. That's what I'm doing wrong. I do remember it, but it's been a long time ago that I actually saw that, Adrian. Tron, look, 80s films. Batteries not included. You know what? I hadn't seen The Last Starfighter for a long, long time. And I know Jeffrey Fink was making the lights for the trailer park, the 3D designs for it. It's dated now. I didn't realise how dated it was until I watched it again. Hoosers. Is that how you pronounce it? Hoosers. In case people didn't know, Lou and Phil are my elocution speech therapists, because I can never say anything. Trying to say fettuccine at the old spaghetti factory. I don't know. I just have problems with words. Street Hawk, Knight Rider, A-Team, all the 80s. Airwolf. I watched the first Secret Invasion episode. Wasn't impressed. I think, I don't know, has anyone else got Marvel fatigue? Superhero fatigue? I'm just fed up of superhero movies at the moment. I understand the Flash is bombing as well. I really wanted to see that, but nah, haven't seen that yet either. Do you remember Return to Oz with Farousa Balk? I do, and TikTok. It's also the 40th anniversary year for Blue Thunder. That's crazy. Can you believe I've tried to keep up with chat? Hello, Todd. I'm just about to go now. It's 9 o'clock already. That was a fun chat tonight. So what we're going to do, sorry if I haven't read your, oh, see, Simp Lord's in here. Simps are great, damn straight. I'm gonna fight your corner all the way, Craig. So we will give you an update for this in September, but this is what the Sprueverse challenge is. I'm going to send Lou and Phil that picture of Talos, if I haven't showed it enough during this stream. There you go. That is what we're making. Interesting how we're going to do the water. Absolutely no idea at the moment, so we'll figure that one out later on. But I really do hope you've enjoyed this stream today. Tomorrow, I'm going to be doing 7 stages of the Valentino Rossi bike because they've actually sent me that. And that'll be the last video for the weekend. But listen, take care of yourselves and I will see you later.